We had our feet in the bubbly water. I'm talking to all the viewers right now who are excited to be watching our interview, but like I turn to my left and I go, holy shit, that's Kevin Smith.
You came over and you were like, hi, and I'm like, that's the fucking dude from Dark Knight. And you just ruined my whole manly image and shit. How am I supposed to maintain my tough guy facade where everybody knows that I was getting my nails done?
Hello, and welcome to Grave Conversations, the only show where your favorite celebrities get to lie down. I am your host, David Dastmalchian. Our guest today is someone we hope lives for a very, very long time. From Clerks and Dogma to Jay and Silent Bob, and oh my God, so many more. He changed the landscape of independent film. Please welcome my very dear friend and legend, Kevin Smith.
Some magic words right there, my friend.
You're
Like you have the
human.
ability to take language and arrange it in such a way that the recipient is overjoyed. Like that felt damn good.
Thanks, man. It's that balance, like with all things, where I want to prepare, and then throw it all away and climb in here and just see where we go. Like let the river
I've never
take us.
understood that about you actors, the whole like, prepare, and then throw it away. Why would you throw away something you prepared so long for? Like imagine if the director was like, I prepared, and then threw it all away and just kind of made it up on the
Well,
day.
I
Which I
mean-
guess is kind of what we do sometimes.
When it's memorized dialogue, absolutely, I keep the lines. I try to be perfect with lines because I come from the theater where it's like you can't go in and do a Tennessee Williams monologue and go, that didn't really feel like the way I'd say it, so I'm just going to change your words, Kevin, here. Even though I know you would, of course, let me if we were shooting a scene and I was like, hey, man, can I
Let me tell you,
say it
I'd
this
let
way?
you change Tennessee Williams words as well. Can't believe I've made it 5 minutes into this interview without dropping the name, but not even Ben Affleck, copyright, trademark, has ever gotten me to sit in a fucking casket, man. Can I look down the barrel for
You
this?
look down the barrel as much as you want.
This goes out to my beautiful wife, Jennifer Schwalbach, who's been married to me for 26 years, but we've been fucking for 27 years. That's the way more important number. One time in the beginning of our relationship, like in the very beginning, first time we ever fucked, she got on top. And I was like, look at you. She's like, I like it up here. I was like, good, you'll fucking stay there forever. And that's where she's been ever since. Now, having seen what I look like, our entire fucking marriage, I just want to say, Jennifer, you deserve an award for fucking this. Like, this is what you had to look at when you were trying to come. No wonder you close your eyes all the time and shit. Look up at the wall.
I'm going to ask you a couple quick questions.
Fire away.
This is called quintabid, questions you need to answer before you die. Nobody really calls it that but me.
So there is some structure to the show.
There's a little bit of structure,
Fair
but
enough.
it's our forum. It's two friends that get to lay here and think about laying in a casket. I mean,
I'm here
it's
for it.
where it goes. What cereal box character is the most deserving of a movie?
Captain Crunch.
Thank you. I
Whole
want.
fucking epic at sea. Plus, he's got a calming appearance. Plus, based on his epaulets, he's not even a fucking captain. So is he lying? He doesn't have the stripes a captain's supposed to have. So many places to go before you even get into like the Crunch Beast and Smedley the elephant and shit. Created by Alan Burns, the guy who also created, wait for it, Mary Tyler Moore Show. Isn't that fucked up?
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? He was a guy who worked with Jay Ward. The Jay Ward company that did Rocky and Bullwinkle, they were responsible for the Quaker Oats campaigns of Captain Crunch. Alan Burns worked on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. And so they were like, hey, can you do something with it? And he came up with Captain Crunch. One more piece of information, trivia about Captain Crunch, which may never get you laid, but could be interesting at a party. The character is based on the look of Jay Ward, the guy who produced all the Rocky and Bullwinkle commercials. He is, in essence, or was, because he's passed away, Captain Crunch.
Speaking of characters, fictional characters, if Kevin Smith's thoughts were narrated by a film or TV character, who would it be?
Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Batman. I love that.
Yeah.
The best.
What a great voice. Honestly,
Best.
the single, like, there have been many people who have essayed the role of Batman, as we know. You know, when I read Batman comics, that's the voice I
hear
hear in
Kevin's
my head.
voice. I'm the exact same, but he had it from day one. It wasn't like he grew. I mean, he developed it over the years, but he had it from day one, from the first episode. It's perfect.
So true.
Do you believe in appetizer samplers, or do you just commit to one appetizer?
I'm like, we'll order a bunch of food and just bring it all when it happens. So a main course could wind up being an appetizer if your main course is something like hummus or something like that.
For sure.
But so I like kill them all, let God sort them out. That's my philosophy at the table.
You get the option to make one of your movies again, knowing all that you know now. Would you? Is there one that you would remake?
What a great question. Let me think. Can I go through them all? I know it's supposed to be fast. Clerks, no. Mallrats, no. Chasing Amy, no. Dogma, no. Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, no. Jersey Girl, no. Clerks 2, no. You see, I start slowing down once we get to the second half of the career. Clerks 2, no. Zack and Miri, no. Cop Out. Cop Out might be the one, but I didn't write it, and that's why I kind of went in least prepared. When you come up with your own material, when you write your own scripts, it starts as a whimsy, you know, a tickle in your brain of like, ooh, imagine if, and you take it all the way through to conception. It's the closest thing that a male human being will ever feel toward, you know, about childbirth, right? It's like you have this idea, you nurture it, you birth it, and bring it out into the world and stuff.
In Dogma, you've got angels that bleed and prophets that puke, and you know God that disappears when the
Where
stakes
were you
are
when we were coming up with the poster, man? Angels that bleed, prophets that puke.
It's all like you give all these like celestial beings perfectly human traits. Do you think that the divine should be relatable? Do you think it is relatable like that?
I think that's the only way to conceive of the divine, is to make it relatable. You know, I used to have cats when I was a kid, and now I'm a dog person. And I'm not anti-cat, but it's just, I grew up with no pets, and then one day we got a cat, and then that led to like 6 indoor cats and 30 outdoor cats that my father fed on a regular basis. I love cats, and I read this thing about cats. They said cats don't see us as human beings, they just see us as slightly larger, more puzzling cats, because they have no way to conceive of the human condition. So they don't recognize us as a separate species. They see us as, well, that's a weird cat, but you're still a cat to them. If there's a divine, there's no way we could possibly fucking get our cat-like notions around it, around the infinite. Because we're raised on 3-act stories, we would love to think that, you know, there's a heaven, there's a hell, there's finality, and there's, you know, all secrets revealed, all mysteries, you know, we're gonna find out really who killed Kennedy and shit like that. But probably not. Like, why would we? And who wants to think about that as a human being? Who wants to think about, like, I don't have enough answers here in the here and now. You mean to tell me I ain't gonna get answers later on either and stuff? And you can build entire industries on that. The notion of like, let me tell you what's gonna happen after this life and stuff. We don't know.
But the fear of it, for me, was always such a huge factor in my life, and I'm grateful as I'm, you know, 50 now, looking at like the concept of
Scared of death?
death. Yeah, I was always since a child, and I was so scared of if I didn't do things right, I was going to go to hell. If I did things, you know, if I did do things right, I was going to be in heaven, and that used to keep me up at night because I'd think about, so you're going to walk down this street of gold forever, and then I'd start thinking about forever, and I'd get freaked the fuck out. I'd be so scared of the concept of like something just going forever, and now I'm getting to this peace with all of it, but it comes in waves and bursts. That's why I love doing this show. Honestly, like, you get people like yourself, you get just people who are straight up comedians, philosophers, people just talking about the thing that it doesn't seem like, except through film, people are very ever comfortable talking about death and dying stuff. That was a good transition, actually. Hey, camera. We're at the segment we call Death Wish. Kevin, if you got to pick, how would you like to die?
It's so weird, because it is something that, like, you know, you spend a majority of your life trying not to preoccupy yourself with. And having almost dropped dead 7.5 years ago from a massive heart attack and whatnot, I did get to taste the void. There was thought of, oh my God, I could be shuffling loose this mortal coil tonight, because I was having a widowmaker, and in 80% of the cases, the patient always dies. 80% of the cases, the exact same heart attack I was having, the patient don't make it through. So I was sitting there in that moment going like, this could be the last ceiling I look up at. And now that I think about it, I looked like this, but heavier. So I sat there going like, start the movie. You know, you're supposed to see your life flash before your eyes. And I was like, well, I ain't waiting. Like, I'm fucking bored. Like, guys disappeared down in my crotch and made magic and shit. That's how to get to your heart, through your femoral artery. So periodically I would look down and I saw the top of this dude's head bobbing up and down. And I was like, well, hope he knows what he's doing. And he did. But while I was laying there looking up, I started the movie and went through everything. And I'm not saying, and I was cured of my fear of death, but the dude saved me at the end. Clearly I'm still here. And ever since then, I haven't been quite as afraid of dying. You know, more disappointed at the notion that the party ever has to end, because that's predicated on me thinking that the moment I die, life is going to be as enjoyable as it is for me right now. But it could be at the moment that I die that I'm going to be like, oh, thank God, get me off this fucking roller coaster. But right now, still, even though I'm not scared of it, as scared as I was when I was, through most of my life until age 47, I don't welcome it. But that being said, if I had to pick a route into it, dying in my sleep sounds real fucking good. Mm-hmm. But that just then means like, well, you should be prepared. Like, what happens if you die in your sleep tonight? And that's what I try to live like now at this point. Like I've been telling Jen for 7.5 years, like I'm living on borrowed time. She's like, don't say that. I was like, no, I am. I was supposed to be dead. Like a heart attack that's supposed to take out 80% of the people that have it. By all odds, I should have been fucking dead. But I'm here, so I know for a fact I'm living on borrowed time. You're living on borrowed time too. Like I have the painful awareness of fucking knowing it. And we try to obfuscate it all the time. But it's important to remember, it doesn't mean that you live your life in fear. It just means you live your life in gratitude. Because you don't know if you're ever gonna get a chance to say thank you. Because when it comes, they tell us in the Bible, it comes like a thief in the night. We're all the main characters in our story, and we're so fragmented. And now we're siloing off in these really terrible ways where we're not coming together. You know what's important, kids? Even though we're sitting here talking about how it should all end and stuff, congregation while you're alive. Used to be people would go to church. I ain't trying to sell you on that. Congregation just means gathering with other human beings in a physical space and being around other human beings. You can do that at a concert. You can do that at a movie.
Cinema.
Do that.
Gaming.
You can do that.
Conventions.
So
sports.
many. Oh my God. Yes. And that shit is important. It's magic, because we all keep siloing off as they figure out more ways to keep us doing this and to keep us by ourselves in a little fucking box or a black mirror, as Charlie Booker calls it. We got to remember that it's important to gather together.
And now a little section we call Living for This. This is that moment in the interview where they go, hey, we've been talking about death. Let's talk about things that make you feel alive right now. Is there anything personally or professionally that you want to give a shout out to or talk about at the moment? I know you just got back from Cannes and had an incredible experience. Anything else?
That was all lovely. Yeah, being able to re-engage with Dogma. Like I toured it for a month and then I took it to Cannes for the second time. That was lovely. But
So
honestly,
cool.
what's given me life lately, and that's why I went so hard on Captain Crunch, is Rocky and Bullwinkle. I made a hard turn back into. I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle when I was a kid and all throughout my teenage years, and then once I started making movies and shit like that, I wasn't a fan of things anymore as much as I was building my own thing, right? But after the LA fires, I had this weird reaction to them. Like, Runyon Canyon lit up and it looked like they evacuated us. So I was like, oh my God, we're gonna lose our house and everything in it. And then it didn't wind up happening. They did water drops and like our neighborhood was completely untouched and saved. And I went back to the house and you'd imagine I'd gotten to the notion of like, all right, everything you own is about to burn up. All the pictures of your dad, all the things you've saved from childhood, everything you own now as an adult and shit is about to be gone. And I got home and it wasn't gone. And you would imagine, because I went through this thing of like, I let go. I was just like, you can't carry it all, let it go. Instead, when I got back, like I started going to eBay and buying all this Rocky and Bullwinkle stuff. Rather than like letting shit go, I was like, no, I got to accumulate more. And so much so that my kid came into my office like one day, like last month, and she was like, Jesus, you went hard on Bullwinkle. And she was like, I remember none of this stuff was here. I was like, well, it was always here in my head and heart, but like, you're right. The physical trinkets of it so much, not so much prior to this. So it's been giving me odd comfort, and I go to sleep at night listening to episodes over and over again, like a podcast.
You're so wonderful, and you're also so weird. And
You
I love
are.
that about, no, you are the
Props to a
fucking
guy who you could have sat in that chair getting your fucking pedicure and never said a word, like I probably would have. Even in recognizing you, I don't know that I ever would have been like, oh my God. I did that once. I saw Jason Bateman at Baja Fresh. And he was eating by himself, and I went in to get a burrito. And I literally did the thing where I was like, I'm sorry, man, I never do this, but I'm a huge fan. I don't want to bother you. And he was very cool. He goes, thank you, Kevin. And he went back to eating his burrito.
Silver Spoons fan?
I was a massive fucking Silver
Oh my
Spoons
God,
fan,
Derek.
David.
His Derek character was
He
classic,
stole the
dude.
fucking
He
show
stole
from the
dude.
Ricker.
It was Rick's story, remember? And then he called it Derek's.
I almost told him that. I almost said,
Genius.
like, bro, I've been riding hard with you since
Silver fucking Spoons.
Since It's Your Move. That was the show he did after that.
And his sister's a badass actor too.
But anyway, long story short, I probably never would have went over. You did.
I did. And now because of that, we're here.
I'm in a fucking coffin looking my worst on film ever.
Oh, not true.
It's unnerving enough to be in a coffin, let alone on your back, knowing it's the worst angle ever. Which just reminds me, I want to be cremated. Because if this is what I look like, fucking, I don't want anybody seeing me after I die and shit.
That was my 13th question. You already answered it, man.
We were Catholic kids, and for some reason, our priest took a real hardcore stand against cremation. I don't know where the Catholic Church stands on it today, but back in the day, they were like, you can't burn the body. You're going to be reunited with your body in heaven one day on the last day and shit. So the priest went hard against it. So cremation was really never part of my matrix. And then, when I grew up and became a lapsed Catholic, suddenly you start going like, well, why wouldn't I be cremated? Oh, because of something fucking Father Dave said, and you don't even believe in that anymore and stuff. So everyone else in my world was always talking about cremation, even my mother. But me, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. So the idea of being cremated when it's like, no, there could be a whole fucking sarcophagus and a giant monument that people could go sit inside of and contemplate my film career after I'm dead was always in the cards for me. But you have disabused me of that notion with this shot alone. Once I saw this shot, I was like, burn my fucking dead ass. Nobody needs to ever see this.
I have no idea.
I
what
look
that
like a
reference
melting
was
candle.
about.
You know what I look like? I look like the motherfucker who gets out of the tub in The Shining and hugs Jack Nicholson.
Shut
But
up,
not the
Kevin.
sexy
Oh
young
my
one, the one that's like,
God.
oh!
So
Are they a sponsor of these coffins by any chance?
who does sponsor the casket makers themselves? Titan Caskets.
Do they?
They do. Yeah.
There was a
They
moment
make-
before where we could have said, like, fucking, the coffin you want is Titan.
Like you talk about, like rebels in film, they're rebels in the end of life business because there's been up until now like basically what do you call it? A monopoly on the business. So here comes this company. It's like undercutting the competitors by like.
Let me tell you, I know
numbers.
I can't speak for you, but I'm tired of being under the thumb of Big Death.
You get to do something that people don't normally get to do. Today, we'll give you an opportunity in 60 seconds.
Okay.
To give your own eulogy. I spell it Y.O.U.logy.
adorable.
When I say die, you'll have 60 seconds to give yourself your own eulogy.
Do
Your
I
team
do
member.
it
Yeah,
to
delivering
down the barrel?
your down the barrel, your 60-second eulogy. 3, 2, 1, action.
Kevin Smith, kids, what can we say about Kevin Smith? Husband, father, son, brother, podcaster, film director, pop cultural enthusiast, comic book writer, friend to all animals, friend to some human beings. Kevin Smith lived to put people in front of himself, to a fault. He was a codependent people pleaser in the best fucking way. And because he couldn't self-validate, he needed everybody else. So he loved everybody he ever encountered, even the people sometimes who were assholes to him, because it pushed him to go where he went. He overcame, psychological maladies and breaks and harnessed insecurities to power himself to his dream career working in the entertainment business. For a surprisingly deep kid, he chose a very shallow profession, but it made him happy. He loved that people knew his name. He loved being famous. He left a mark, man. There's a wall, and for whatever reason, Kevin Smith felt the need to write his name on it. He wanted to be remembered before he shuffled loose that mortal coil. He lived the Kevin Smithiest life he possibly could have.
Perfect.
I did mention my wife, right? Because if she sees this and I didn't mention her, she'll be like, you
Jen
left
is
me?
all over this interview.
Yeah, I began with like husband, you know.
Yeah.
And I chose that as the chief definer. But let me let you in on a little bit of my psychology. Inside, that was not the first word. You want to know the first word, don't you?
Please.
What was the first word? It was husband, oddly enough.
I think it was husband.
That's how fucking henpecked I am. Like, I'm Kevin Smith. I've done some cool shit. And still, when asked to define myself in my own eulogy, I start with husband. Let me tell you, that's good branding. I can't wait to fucking tell her that afterwards. She's going to be like, you're damn right. And why wouldn't you?
Kevin Smith, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for believing me as an artist. And thank you for joining us today and making this the Kevin Smithiest grave conversations ever. Okay? Thank you. Bye.
Serious? I ain't closing mine. If the gimmick is that I'm meant to close mine as well, that's where I draw the line. I like Dave a lot, obviously. Look at this. But not enough to close this fucking coffin. I wasn't asked to do it. Not gonna ad-lib, not gonna improvise. Who am I, fucking Robin Williams? Making it up as I go along? No. I'm gonna just sit here until somebody pries me out of this casket.